In today's video, I will be discussing some of the first symptoms to look out for. These would be the symptoms of COVID-19 coronavirus. There's also a symptom you may not have heard of. It's more rare, but it's sometimes the first symptom. This is a way of catching this early and maybe fighting it off before it gets too embedded in your system. Today is March 31st, 2020. We're about 9 weeks into the first cases of the virus in the United States. And the rate of cases and deaths have been progressing as I have predicted, and they will just continue to rise like this until one of two things happens. Humans take enough action, or it ends up infecting up to 70% of all human beings, which one epidemiologist predicted is possible. And this morning, the news broke of another celebrity getting the coronavirus. It's someone I've been watching almost every night. CNN's Chris Cuomo. I've been a fan of his for about a year or so. This is just really surprising. You'd think he'd be playing it safe, right? And we've got members of Congress that have it. Canada's First Lady, Boris Johnson, President of UK, of all presidents to get it. With all these famous people that have it, you can imagine that the numbers are much bigger than we know. That means you can't assume that your rural area, like where I live, is safe. Since this virus has been more than one step ahead of us the whole time, it's likely to be still ahead of us. And I have another piece of advice for Chris Cuomo. Since I heard that he's still going to be doing his show from his basement, I think that he should stop doing his show because most jobs are stressful. But his type of job is especially stressful, so he's putting a lot of burden on his immune system, and also takes a lot of time out of his life that he could be using to practice these therapies that I'm about to discuss. As for containing this virus, we now have a lot of quarantines going on. Some people say it should be more, but even the quarantines we have going on are not being followed very well. So if you come into any contact with people, it's very possible that person could have it and could infect you. So you're going to need to know these first symptoms. Also, I'd like to say that if you suspect that you have the coronavirus, you should not go to a hospital. The first initial reason is because you could infect someone in person. Now there's a new reason. The hospitals can't handle you. The first thing you should do is call your doctor. And while you're waiting for your doctor visit, here is what you should do. Now, the general symptoms you probably already have heard of. These are symptoms that will appear 2 to 14 days after you contract the virus. These include fever, cough, dry cough, and shortness of breath, and finding it difficult to breathe, which is the reason why hospitals need those ventilators. Now, there's another symptom, which often is the first symptom, but it's also a rare symptom that is not reported in many of the patients. This symptom is a reduced sense of taste and smell. Doctors recently added these as potential symptoms. It may be because the immune system will deplete your zinc stores to fight the virus off. That may be the first thing it does. And when you develop enough of a zinc deficiency, that's what causes you to lose your taste and smell. Which brings us to things you can do. Remember, this is not in place of medical help. These are things you can do along with medical help, or while you're waiting because there's these problems getting the medical help. Also, these things are mostly totally safe, and anybody could do them. And it might be a good idea to do these things, unless you're completely quarantined off. We got to go to the store sometime. Oh, and I should tell you, I went to the store a few days ago. And man, it was rough. I wasn't expecting these conditions. People were not keeping their distance, like half the people. I had a real unusual occurrence. Maybe it's happened in a farmer's market, but not in a supermarket. Some woman almost ran into me, or we almost ran into each other. She came up from behind me to get some fruit, and I was stepping right into her line of trajectory. These people were reckless. And there was one employee that was sniffling. I heard someone sneeze just before going into the store. So next time I'm bringing a mask. And when you get home, you should do these things that I'm about to list here. Here are some therapies and preventatives that you can do. Breathing garlic into your lungs. Also onion. They're both antivirals. In fact, the plants that grow these things use them as defense. So animals won't eat those parts of the plants, which are the roots, because that would end up killing the whole plant. And that's why I generally don't recommend eating garlic and onions, because they're toxins. They're meant to destroy. But in this case, it'll be worth it. So you want to breathe them into your lungs because the coronavirus infects you through the lungs. If you can catch it early, just as it's going into the lungs, then you can prevent it from actually infecting the rest of your body. So this would best be done by having the garlic or onion being cooked in a pan so you can breathe in the fumes. I haven't heard much about this technique, but I would recommend doing it for maybe just a minute or two. That should be enough. Another thing to do right away is to go on a fruit and vegetable cleanse or feast where you will be eating just massive amounts of fruits and vegetables, which is good for getting in a lot of vitamins and minerals. And you won't be eating much on anything else, which you don't need. All that stuff just gets in the way of your body working efficiently, along with your immune system. Some nutrients you want to focus on, getting through your food or through supplementation. Vitamin C, vitamin B, and zinc. And if the virus has had more time to infect you, some things you can do. Eat onion, garlic. That gets it more into your system there. And raw onion and garlic is even more powerful. And at this point, it's even more effective to eat orange meals. Just fill up on oranges, like maybe 3, 4, 5, 7. Do that first thing in the day. And keep in mind, these things are not cures. They might cure you, but you just can't rely on that. Thanks for watching. Play it safe out there and stay hydrated. And give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more YouTube content that's actually helpful.